Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Church with a Two-Drink Minimum.
Alright, everybody ready? We're going to sing. Hey, Glen. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum. Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum. We are interfaith, interspiritual, God optional. So relax and get ready for a celebration. Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum. One more time now. Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum. Everybody, come and give an
Alrighty, how are all my wee doggies out there today? Alrighty.
Oh, we're doing good.
Hopefully your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever joyful time that you've chosen to visit us, you've gathered your two drinks together because you're not going to want to move from this place for an hour or maybe two, depending on how much of you can stand of us.
Oh, I think we can.
Because I'm on for 2 hours
You're
here.
on after this with Reverend John.
I know, it's an honor.
So awesome. I know it is. It's such a great honor just to be here in the sanctuary
family.
with everybody. Yeah, absolutely. We just are reminded every time that we are family.
I know. We've been sitting here 3 hours waiting for you guys to come back on. Just sitting here looking at the screen, already dressed, just waiting, sitting here, waiting. I'm sure you believe that. I'm sure you do believe that.
Well, in the mornings we don't necessarily show ourselves on screen because we're busy doing other things. So, and so we have to get ready to see.
I know,
you.
doing other things, like looking this beautiful. Do you think this just like happens overnight? It takes an entire day to get this presentable.
Very.
I'm telling you.
Well, thank you so much. What a wonderful day we've already had in the sanctuary, and wonderful evening we're about to have. But wasn't it fun, the homily this morning? Oh my goodness! You know what? Like really got my attention was her wedding. Reverend Beverly's wedding vows to herself.
For me, it was the music.
The music was wonderful.
Who was dancing this whole morning? It was like I sat down long enough to listen to her, and then I'm back up again.
I know, it was awesome. It really was. I totally enjoyed it, and everybody sharing for the rest of the afternoon was wonderful.
But her was it the Lord's Prayer? What did she?
No, she did wedding vows.
No, that's right, the wedding vows. Did you catch the wedding vows? The wedding vows she gave to herself.
Yeah,
wasn't that cool? I just thought that was the coolest thing.
I think Connie even commented on it. She commented. I remember, Connie, you commenting on some part of that. But I wanted to share with you. It was funny that she did that because I actually have a pledge of allegiance to myself, my capital S self. So I'm going to share it with you.
Yeah. Would you tell us what that is, Reverend Yolanda?
Oh, cool. Wait, Santa says she's going to post
those vows
with
the
post this evening. Awesome. Yeah. Because it was so cool. Okay, so my pledge allegiance to my higher self goes like this. I pledge allegiance to myself. Hi, Shauna.
I pledge allegiance to Shauna. Is what we do. What we're saying here.
And to all of Awakening Together.
I pledge allegiance to the Cytocon and name everybody on the planet.
Yeah,
all beings.
But anyway, my vow goes like this. Because I pledge allegiance to myself, capital higher self, and to my higher state of being, and to the oneness for which we all stand, one love, one family, one planet, with right-mindedness and freedom for all. Yay!
Not bad. Not bad for a little. We're gonna do a cross-stitch pillow moment. You know, have that laying against your couch.
Yeah,
Right?
we'll do the wedding vows and the pledge
and
of
matching
allegiance to self.
embroidered pillows. You can tell I'm 58 years old.
You like embroidered pillows.
Yeah, I'm already an old man. You come to my house, there'd be a little couch with embroidered pillows on it, probably.
Oh, I think that's sweet.
It's adorable, isn't it?
I love it. So let's see. I actually wanted to start off. Speaking of adorable, I actually wanted to start off our time together with sharing with you who my guest is on Sounds of Awakening next Sunday. Next Sunday, October 2nd at 8 p.m. right here in the sanctuary, we are going to feature my friend Naj. So I think we are sharing Naj right now. Yeah, okay, cool. This is Naj, and we've been friends for a long time, since he lived in New York in the early 2000s, but now he lives in, that's him in New York. And I think the next shot is him in New York. That's when we first met each other. I think he now lives
East
in
Village. I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. Now he lives in Orlando, Florida. Here's
He opens his eyes.
Yay. So that is my dear friend Naj, that I know you're going to love. He's just beautiful and gentle and has such a great spiritual great spiritual music that I think you'll love. And I'm going to read you his bio. Naj is a singer-songwriter and poet. He was raised in Guyana and Trinidad, and he's recorded 7 albums and published 3 books. He's the winner of 4 Out Music Awards, and Naj has shared the stages with Norah Jones, Regina Bell, and Estelle. And he says this: with an unwavering passion for staying true to his artistic and personal callings, Naj has spent 2 decades charting a singular course through the rivers of R&B, soul, jazz, and reggae, creating a space where audience can experience themselves through the eyes of love and acceptance. And that's why I love my dear
we're looking
friend
forward
Naj.
to you guys meeting. You guys meeting this. I love this. I love this guy.
He's such a
this guy. His
sweetie.
music is amazing. Truly amazing. I hope you love him as much as we love him. Put him in your rotation, right?
Yeah, he is impressive. He's
Very impressive.
So cool, so wonderful. So I'm thrilled to have him as a guest, and that'll be next Sunday at 8 p.m. But today we have a very so our sing-along today is going to be our regular sing-along because today's lesson is Let Things Be Exactly As They Are.
So what are we going to sing today? What do we have to sing today?
So
I ask you. So sing along with us on this one day a year where it's perfectly acceptable.
My fave. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, good.
Woo! Let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change God.
'Cause you can't change God.
Let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
You and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know
what anything
is for.
Unless I listen to.
Unless I'm listening to.
That still small voice.
I have a still small voice.
Telling me.
It's telling me.
This simple truth.
This simple truth.
That everything.
Everything?
Is for my good.
Everything is for my good.
So let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You can't change
'Cause you can't change God.
Let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
not this body.
Not this body?
That you see.
I'm not the body that you see?
Although I love my body and it's
It's voluptuous and beautiful.
Beautiful. I am as God.
I am as God.
Created me.
Voluptuous and beautiful.
We are all. One family.
One family.
And it's possible.
Yes, it's possible.
To live in peace.
Live in peace. Come on, bring it home. Sing it with us.
Let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me. Here we go.
And you can't change
Shout it out.
God.
You can't change God.
Let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace. Kumbaya. I know, we'll be around with milk and cookies later. Everybody grab your blanket from the blocks area. You know, Mrs. Horn will be passing out the blankets. So, you can collect your block.
As you can tell, we love.
Oh, I know those those image comes. I don't know. The image of going to Bible school and having a nap and stuff in the middle of the afternoon. Oh, just
that's luxurious. Having a nap in the middle of the
afternoon.
I know.
I'm in my second childhood, maybe.
I know. What's in the chat?
Okay.
I don't know. We got a few things there.
I know.
Oh yes.
Oh,
just
so
saying hi to everybody. Yeah.
My favorite.
Okay, cool.
Ours too.
All right.
So
guess
the lessons
what?
are fun.
Right. So we're going to go back a few days.
Remember, like 4 days ago?
Well, I think this was Wednesdays.
Yeah.
No, because
yeah. So today's
lesson is 268.
268.
Right.
So let's go back to 264 because that's when the thoughts start. When the thoughts that we're building get to arise at. She says in 264.
I am surrounded by the love of God. Yes,
okay.
yes.
So
see,
that's both dimensions, right? In my head, reality, physical experience. Listen, what is happening if you're surrounded by the love of God? What could only be happening?
Yeah, only God, only love.
Only love lives here, right?
Only love lives here. Well, it was really great because that was Wednesday, I believe, and I was driving to Vermont. Glen was busy for a few days, and so I snuck up to Vermont.
I was doing political activism.
Yes, you were.
Yes, I was.
And I snuck up to Vermont, and all the way through my drive, I was going, I am surrounded by the love of God. And it was just really, really a wonderful way to drive that day. And it was really pleasant and very peaceful, kept my heart and my mind
and all the
peace.
conflict of this in my political organizing meeting was in my memory how I use this was I'm surrounded by the love of God. I'm not in conflict.
Right.
Okay.
Even here in this
people who believe that they're experiencing conflict, I am not in conflict. I am surrounded by the love of God.
Yeah.
So 265.
So the next day is creation's gentleness is all I see.
And that could be all you see. And if it isn't, then look into that.
Right. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah. Because if that's the reality, then when I'm not experiencing that, we should be like ding, 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 ding. I have indeed misunderstood the world. It starts out because I laid my sins on it and saw them looking back at me. It's the way the world works. I only can see what I know. I only ever see what I believe, right? That's projection. I only ever see what I believe. And if I really have a trouble with myself, I'm going to have a lot of trouble with the world.
Yeah, and look what it says next. It says, I laid my sins on it and saw them looking back at me. How fierce they seemed, and how deceived was I to think that what I feared was in the world instead of in my mind alone.
Those are horror stories. That's a nightmare, isn't it? To see your fears in the world. That's called a nightmare.
And today I see the world in celestial gentleness.
I know, because
I'll take it.
We're ordering it. It does exactly what we say. Lesson 266.
Then the next day, it said, my holy self capital S, abides in you,
God's son. So it's like, so who's the agent behind my discomfort? See, I think what the world is going to tell me is you.
Right.
And if I could stomp the other out, then I'd be like, okay, that's the world's gonna tell you that. And the programming that the Course in Miracles and these lessons and everything is fundamentally trying to get at is us to be able to pierce the veil of what that does to our brain. My holy self abides in you, to change our minds about who we're fighting with, what we're fighting with, and
each
everything
other.
like that. My holy self abides
In you.
I'm going to take care of you. I
Son.
and I have to want to be. My self is in us.
But listen to this first line. Father, you gave me all your sons to be my saviors and my counselors in sight, the bearers of your holy voice to me.
That's what others are, always.
In them are you reflected, and in them does Christ look back upon me from my capital self. That's awesome. So you reflect me, and we reflect the truth. That's just so awesome.
It could be. But we can also reflect dysfunction.
Right,
We can
right.
reflect heartache. We can reflect all kinds of horror that
Yeah.
we're very well confident with. This same principle allows us to participate in reality. Because those things are true, we can see reality. So 267 is...
The next day, my heart is beating in the peace of God, which was actually yesterday. And I've started a song on this. It goes something like, my heart is beating in the peace of God. It's so sort of somewhere around in there. So I've started a song.
In the peace of God. Our existence, our very, the way that life is expressed comes into the world, the very, like, pound, they can hook little electrodes up to your heart, and they can, they record the beat after the fact. They cannot originate. There's a beat that's happening that is not originating with the body, because all they can do is detect a reaction, not the original firing of electrons. They can't do that. Surrounding me is all life that God created in His love.
It calls to me in every heartbeat and in every breath, in every action and in every thought.
Okay, these are very physical things. Act like it.
Peace fills my heart.
Right.
And floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. And now my mind is healed.
Could be.
Well,
my heart is beating
in the
peace of God. And I'm going to claim that and operate from that and claim that as my identity about what I want. The view I want of the world, how I want to be and act, and the experience I want to have is to take ownership of the peace of God is beating in my heart.
Yeah.
What would that do if that was real? If we acted like that was real?
Well, we're experiencing that
I think
because
so.
we're certainly working
Amen.
with that. And so then it lands us on today, let all things be exactly as they are. And I love this first paragraph. Let me not be your critic, Lord, today, and judge against you.
How much is that me? Let me not be your critic, Lord.
Lord.
Oh my God.
Let me not attempt to interfere with your creation and distort it into sickly forms.
She's reading all. It's like, oh my God. Have you distorted reality into sickly forms today? You may need to call one. Oh,
let me be willing
Yeah.
to withdraw my wishes from its unity and thus to let it be as you created it. Yeah. What can frighten me when I let all things be exactly as they are?
Because maybe the world isn't set up to frighten you or to us. And what would happen if the world wasn't organized around our fear?
Right. It goes on to say that only reality is free of pain.
Yeah.
Only reality is wholly safe.
What can frighten me
Yeah.
when I let things be
Exactly as they are. I love
So there
that.
it is.
So wonderful. So
And so I think that brings us to the meditation moment for the day.
I think we'll do a little meditation moment here. And ring 3 bells and breathe deeply and Release the last breath on an Om. Here we go. Today, right here in the Awakening Together Sanctuary, we are co-creating a circle of unconditional love that lets things be exactly as they are. So we invite everything into this circle today. Everything that we like, everything that we do not like. We think of all of our friends in Awakening Together, our family here, and any of us that may be experiencing sickness or pain in our bodies, or circumstances that they don't particularly like. We bring all of this into our circle of unconditional love, knowing that we can let things be exactly as they are, and that we can trust in the truth of who we are. We can trust that peace that we know that we are, and we can trust each other. And we know that God would never, ever condemn us for anything. Blessed be, and so it is.
God has condemned me now. God has condemned me now. God has condemned me now. No more do I. No more do I was mistaken. I did not realize the source from which I came. My holiness remains. My holiness remains. All the mistakes I've made are simply illusions. I let them go today and receive God's word. I trust in God's word. Love which created me is what I am. I seek no more today. Love has prevailed. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me not. No more do I. No more do I. No more do I.
So
It
sweet.
is. It's so fun. So
Today
today is a very special day. It's
It
a very
is.
special episode of Blossom, as we say. You know, because once again we've rolled around to your favorite time of year where we get to hear the laws of chaos. Have you heard me? Have you heard the laws of? Do you know the 5 laws of chaos from A Course in Miracles?
it's the in the text, yeah.
In the text,
So
chapter 19. It's like most of chapter 19 is the 5 laws of chaos. So we're gonna get through the law because I really love giving this. What's that very special episode of Blossom? I love giving this because it is so clear. Every year, there's a new example of why these things are, how we believe these things to our peril.
Oh yeah, right.
So catch yourself in these 5 beliefs when you're experiencing them and seeing them in the world. If you get them in your head, you'll begin to see them everywhere, and you will avoid all those rakes in the yard. You know,
Stepping on the rakes.
whack, bonk. You know. So you'll avoid those things if you can remember these 5 ideas. Okay.
And it's so much fun
I know.
because
We used to do this in nightclubs, so I had got little signs and things.
So we've got little posters.
So we're gonna give little symbols because we all learn differently, right? Some of us like to be shouted at, and those are my best pupils. If you like to be screamed at, those are the best people.
So bring it down just a couple of notches. How about that?
And some people are visual, right? Some people are really visual, and some people are audio. Right, so I'll bring this was 2 styles of talking, and some people are written. So we're going to show you that we're going to read the text as well. So all of these ideas, maybe one of them will get through, and you'll be able to remember some of these. Maybe,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I do because of the little pictures.
Yeah, because
here.
the pictures and the little phrases. Okay, so let's take a look.
Okay,
So-
so this is actually winds up in chapter 23.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I did. It's called the War Against Yourself, chapter 23.
It's, A Course in Miracles, chapter 23, The War Against Yourself, section 3, and it's called The Laws of Chaos.
Yeah.
So
and
take it away.
the introduction is like how you want to read or look at this because it's self-contained. And so why don't you? So these laws of chaos can be brought to life, though never understood. So we're not trying to understand what doesn't work. We're trying to recognize it so we can avoid it. Okay,
Well,
so it's
yeah,
a different,
so we can bring attention
so
to
it's
it.
a different focus. So
Yeah.
we're not figuring it out.
Right.
We're not going into depth of study. We're
Right.
just recognizing it and seeing it exactly for what it is. So read what I've had.
Yeah, so this is fun.
No, this is not the goals yet. We're not
I know,
there,
I know,
not
I
first.
understand. Yeah, we're reading the first part, and it's very... This is fun because this is an introduction to the whole thing. It says, "Let us then look upon them calmly, that we may look beyond them, understanding what they are, not what they would maintain."
See, where's your focus? So
Yeah.
continue.
"Here are the laws that rule the world you made."
There's a good distinction. I'll be reminding us of that. Here are the laws that rule the world you made.
Right, not the
Right.
created.
This isn't real. So the goals are to look beyond or to see through these laws of chaos or the roots of why things are the way they are, why the suffering we experience, and to understand what they would maintain or what they keep in place. A world we don't want, a world of suffering. That's all we really need to know. It's not going in the direction of the truth, so I don't need to examine all of it. I need to just change my focus, and learning to do that quickly is what I'm trying to get at here, to make it kind of fun and recognize this thing so we can quickly change our minds, right? Change your mind. What are they for? They'd be able to look at everything that we do and say, oh my God, what is this for? What world does this build? You know?
Right.
And the note I have here is, these laws of chaos do not have any inherent power. They only have power of the belief that we give them.
Right.
So the amount that we participate in these laws is the power they have, period. So they need not be broken. We don't worry about them breaking these rules because
They're not real.
And there aren't any consequences for breaking rules that aren't real. But we think there are. You'll see what I mean? So think about breaking these rules and the consequences of breaking these rules in your head. So when I put this is the introduction. So the question becomes, can we see the world our thoughts are creating for us to experience? There's that loop of experience again. I think, I experience, I believe, I think. Right? So you recognize where in the loop of experience and see the exit points that Regina's always talking about. There's an exit point here, the exit point here, the exit point here. You could probably do that. So we're going to get to the first law of chaos. Read this bit.
Okay. The first chaotic law is that truth is different for everyone.
Do you know this to be true? That's not my truth. Go ahead.
It seemed that some of them are harder to overcome than others. If it were realized that they are all the same and equally untrue, it would be easy.
Okay, so the truth is different for everything. The way I revealed, what I call this truth is, it's good to be the king. Right, so you have a little crown here. It's good to be the king, right? Because the truth of the king is the king can do wherever he wants, but you can't. You know, first law is it's good to be the king, right? So there's one law for me and one thing for me and another one for you. Two different sets of standards here. That's the first law of chaos. The truth's different for everyone because we have separate thoughts. And I have secret thoughts that you can't do, and it's a hierarchy of illusion.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The more valuable it is, the more true it becomes.
I don't understand that. What do you mean?
The hierarchy of illusions, all that were made equally, but some illusions are more true than others.
Oh, we think some illusions.
Right. There's a hierarchy of illusions.
All the mistakes I made are simply illusions. I let them go today.
Or that trust can be won. Also says that truth can be extinguished. You know, so the truth isn't won or lost or gained or anything. It is for our ability. It is who we are. It's actually our identity. So these laws of chaos are talking ourselves out of. We'll be getting to see at the end. The result is, I've been denying who I am this whole time. We're trying to get to that place where we see ourselves in the world. We don't see chaos in the world. We see the truth for everyone. We don't see it's truth for me and some truth for you, right?
Right.
First law of chaos? It's good to be the king. Okay, it's good to be the king. So read the second bit.
Okay, let's see. The second law of chaos.
No. Oh, this is the description of the second law of chaos.
Yeah, it's cool. The second law of chaos,
Dear
indeed to every worshiper of sin.
If you like error and like pointing out error and life living in the broken world, the second law of chaos, dear to all of those worship a broken world,
is that each one of us must sin and therefore deserves attack and death.
Oh, God.
And punishment.
Oh, God. The demand that error calls for punishment.
Yeah.
And not correction.
Yeah, and God is powerless to overcome sin.
Sorry, it's suffering and awfulness from here to the horizon, and God has nothing to do about it. Too bad, so sad.
Oh, I love this piece that she in the description. The arrogance on which the laws of chaos stand could not be more apparent than emerges here. The second law of chaos
is
we
call it.
Oh, it sucks to be you.
We call it. It sucks to be me. I'm completely inadequate for the task. Right? Whatever is going on, whatever it says, I don't have the right knowledge. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not in the right part of the world. I don't know the right language. Whatever is going on, I'm inadequate for the task. No matter what it is. No matter what it is.
How about that?
That's what we call around here the I'm bad belief. Right?
For sure.
I can't.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's the truth. It sucks to be you. Might as well get used to it. You know,
No thanks.
That's the law of chaos. That belief builds worlds of suffering. Builds worlds for suffering for you when we participated. It builds worlds of suffering in our neighborhood, in our communities. It builds worlds of suffering in our families. Do you have somebody in the family that everybody agrees that they have an awful life? Do you have one person in the family that goes, oh man, you know, all those things that happened to Aunt, you know, that Aunt May, yeah, they came and got her foot, you know, she can't take her diabetes. They came and got her foot, you know.
That must have been something that
That was a real story. Aunt Ida May, where the story about them coming to get her foot is something our family tells a lot.
Oh my.
Well, you know, the person, I'm trying to get us to understand that these principles have more than just the regular understanding. If somebody's a scapegoat, if somebody has to be bad for you to be good,
Right.
you know, the I am bad belief is also you're bad, so I'm good. Right? It's also the projection. It's also the judgy, you know, thing. It's like you're making me bad, or I'm bad because of you, or
you're bad and I'm good.
Or do you ever get this when you were a kid? Look what you made me do.
Right. Yeah.
That's that's really, I mean, at one level, it's really immature, right? Because you don't know how things work. At another level, it's completely, absolutely asleep, assigning blame and cause and agency to something that doesn't have it, like a material object, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it doesn't matter where we approach it. That principle says I can't do it. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm wrong. You're wrong. We can't get out of it. There's nothing to do. Oh well. That's chaos.
Yeah,
if there's no hope, there's no chaos, you can be manipulated to do anything. If somebody can convince you that it sucks to be you, to get them to even lighten up that belief, you'll do anything. In a relationship, or in a family, or in a political party, or a whatever.
Yeah.
Recognizing this principle leads to chaos. So, and this principle is in operation in a lot of different areas of our life that we don't really often really recognize it. So that's what I like. That's why I love teaching this. The second law of chaos is that we learn by punishment. It sucks to be me. Each one sinned, and therefore fallen short of the glory of God and deserves attack and death. I mean, you deserve it. You earned it. You did the thing. Wow. Error must be destroyed. Take your punishment. It's good for you. There's no correction or forgiveness available. Oh well, you did the thing. Whack. You know, take your punishment. Take it like a man. The error is proof that we've broken God. I used to call this, you can't break God. Right? Error means that you can get it so wrong that God can't correct it, and it's bad, and you learn by punishment. This is an entire, like I've been talking about, belief system.
Right.
That we will never be good enough for God. Right? I'm never going to be good enough, never going to get it right, never going to be good enough to be happy and earn my happiness. We live in conflict with ourselves. We live in conflict with others. We live in conflict with reality. We even say things the opposite of that. We even say things like, get real, with what we mean by don't argue with me.
Yeah.
Right? We say get real when we say the world is awful, and I don't want to hear any argument against that. So the question becomes, have we really ever destroyed our relationship with God?
Of course not.
Of course not.
No.
So even if we're just like, oh, God's never going to talk to me. Out of all those things I said about God, she's never going to talk to me again. You know?
I don't believe in God.
I'm so bad. My high school, I was so bad in my 20s that God is never speaking to me, I can assure you. Does that really sound like something that's actually like very possible? Do you think that it's so possible that you can get it so wrong and so bad and so awful that God has no ability to just look away from you and just cannot deal with how awful you are? Like, how
that's
possible
ridiculous.
is that? How absolutely ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I know, get off the cross, as Rusty Burnham says. You know?
There is a Rest of Burnham song that says "Get down from the cross."
I know.
I love that song.
I know.
I'm gonna have
we
to
sing
learn
it. We sing. That's the Rest of Burnham song we sing here the most.
The most. It's so good.
Climb down from the cross.
I'm gonna learn that.
Okay, we are.
Sing that.
So the second law of slavery is we learned by punishment,
Right.
and this is realizing the actions we take on a belief system in which the world's broken. So let's go ahead.
Well, what's the next?
All right, go. So
Thing.
read the. So, well, you know what the third law.
Okay, yeah.
So the third law of chaos has these ideas in it.
Right.
That conflict is inevitable.
Oh.
Okay.
And then atonement becomes a myth.
Is absolutely the oneness, reconciliation, growing up, maturing, changing your mind. You ever met anybody who could not change their mind? They would never admit that they were wrong. Have we been at times that person?
I have.
When you just absolutely refuse to change your mind? I think we've all been there. So the atonement is the myth, the function of this course, which does not value what the ego cherishes. Learning the value system of the ego, learning the value system of the world, learning your own value, learning what we actually do value. You take action and place attention on what you value.
Right. Exactly.
If that's focusing on a broken world and I can't have everything's wrong, then that's what you value.
Right. Got it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this third law of chaos is, I say now, it's called God will get you for that.
Oops.
All right? Yep. God will get you for that. So
That's Maud. That's
yeah, remember that phrase
Maud.
from Maud? When somebody be mean, she would say, "Oh, God's going to get you for that." So again, showing my so that conflict is inevitable and it's beyond God's help, and that appeal is useless, and you've done nothing to deserve this goodness or wellness or health or whatever it is. It's obvious because you're in pain and you're suffering. Therefore, justice is being served. You're in pain and you're an awful person. So you're proof that you're an awful person because you're in pain.
Oh Lord.
I know we know these things, but we don't say we do healthcare like this.
Oh,
We
goodness.
manage out. Do you deserve it? How much pain do you have? We often recognizing these systems of chaos is no joke. When we be able to recognize them, how that thinking and how that mindset operates in the world, so we don't have to participate in it.
Wow, that's
So
interesting.
that appeal is useless, that suffering and pain is useless, and it's actually
you said,
justice.
Yeah.
You know, and that destruction is an outcome. It's externally inevitable, and it's like we're all gonna. This is all awful. Everything dies and decayed. I am only a body. It's external. It's all. This is externally inevitable. This all gonna go to crap. So I might as well try to win. Right. If all this is this way, and I'm gonna die anyway, I'm gonna win.
You're gonna try.
I'm gonna go get everything I can.
Oh, you can see how the mindset in the world is like that. Okay, yeah.
It's based on that foundation.
Yeah.
So you can see it. We don't. It's not appealing anymore. Okay. So this is our addiction to conflict.
Right.
This is the practice of internal confirmation bias.
Which
I will get you for that. The internal confirmation bias. It's the appeal that this is only the way it is. I don't grow up because I'm looking at the world that suits my worldview, because it produces what I value. These crappy feelings about myself. I'm valuable because I hurt. I'm a good person because I have these things, bad things happen to me because I'm trying to be a good person.
Oh, okay, I see. So you explained in confirmation bias to me earlier before we were on air. Could you say it again? What confirmation bias?
Confirmation bias is when we send out. Well, she uses the term messages. We send out messages into the world to confirm our beliefs already. That it's difficult to be us. Okay.
It's working in this paradigm.
I'm ugly. I'm poor. I can't, and we look for ways in which those things we can to prove those things to ourselves. We're not looking for what contradicts that. Like, people are in love with you and want to spend time with you. It's like, oh, I'm awful and I can't do this. He goes, well, actually, the evidence doesn't actually show that.
Right, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah.
The evidence shows that you're a bag of chips. That everybody, that you're invited to everything. That's what shows. The third law of chaos is God will get you for that. I'm always waiting and looking for the punishment, right? It's a total outward focus.
When is the shoe going to drop?
When's the
next
shoe gonna drop? Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So read that. So the characteristics of the fourth law of chaos are these.
Yeah. Well, under the heading of the fourth law of chaos, Glen's way he says it is competition is real, which
competition is the fourth law of chaos is competition is real, and this is
real.
this. I know first. Yeah, I win. She's getting to this place. Is like how do you interact with the world? What do you think you are? What do you think the world is? And what is this relationship in this world? That stuff that you're swimming in. Mm-hmm. We're looking at the ways that our beliefs are subtly affecting our happiness and how what we do in the world. So the fourth law of chaos is described this way.
Well, it says the ego values only what it takes. For enemies do not give willingly to one another, nor they seek to share the things they value. And what your enemies would keep from you must be worth having, because they keep it hidden from your sight.
Oh, God.
And then there's, she puts quotation marks around this next thing. Were they not forced into this foul attack by the unscrupulous behavior of the enemy, they would respond with only kindness. But in a savage world, the kind cannot survive, so they must take or else be taken.
Oh, I know. Are you clutching your pearls? Have you? There's competition. Goes, I wouldn't be such an awful person. They were awful to me first. Have you been out there in the world, in this dog world? I had to be cutthroat and awful and a completely thief and tyrannical psychopathic boss. Look, where would I be in this world if I didn't do all those things? We recognize this law a lot in our lives. I had to. There was no, I had no choice. I had no choice. They were being awful. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You probably did. You probably had a choice. Probably. And getting to recognize that gap in our own thinking when we leap to, I had no choice, there's might be a gap there now that goes, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I could, do the fourth law of I'm not in competition for my good. This person isn't capable of taking my happiness away. I'm acting on the belief that somebody could take my happiness away. Right. And the ego only values what it can take, right?
Right.
Take meaning I could see the loss. Another's loss is my gain. We can never take from this is a very material world. Nobody gives willingly. I think we each know where that's going. No one gives willingly. Do you trust people who give you gifts? Have you ever been given a gift you want to give right back because you didn't trust the giver?
Well, I'm not sure. Do you have an example of that? I'm not quite sure.
People often, and I've been in this situation as well, give to get. That's a transactional relationship. So because I don't want to take these gifts because I know in your mind now I'm obligated.
I see.
For in your mind to something. All the gifts, it's all transactional. Competition is this transactional world. Another's loss is my gain. There's I can't give my things away because I lose whatever I give.
I see what you mean.
Nobody gives willingly. Well, that's no. People give willingly all the time. I hope your mother gave willingly. I hope your family life wasn't a transactional one. Some of us did have very transactional, families. Other people have what is mine. What I deserve and what I didn't get is also this. And we see this in politics and all kinds of things. Somebody has what I should have. It's supposed to be mine. God said it was supposed to be mine. The world took my blank. So now you
have to fight to get it back.
Yeah, have to fight to get it back. And this idea of a broken world and a savage world. Woe is me. Nothing's going to get better. Might as well just wait for the apocalypse. You see how we can see the world, these things create competition. What world does the competition create? If you have to scrap for everything for every bit of happiness that you've ever had, do you really want to live in that world?
No, thanks.
No. So read what the characteristics of the last law of
Okay.
chaos.
So the fifth law of chaos is
I love this.
there is a substitute for love.
There's a substitute for love. Right?
Oh my
The
God.
sweet law of love. We keep thinking this is like, oh, well, I can't have that love. It's just too rich. You see what that love does to my waistline. I can't have love. I'll just take the substitute because love, the real thing, is just too much trouble.
Oh, that's interesting, right? That is a mindset that I actually
I don't want nobody
experienced.
to care about me because then I got to care about them.
Right. I see that. Yeah. Okay, so what does the text have
Substitute
to
for love. The
say?
substitute for love. What does she say? Go ahead and read the whole paragraph.
Okay, but what is it you want that needs his death, somebody else's death? Can you be sure your murderous attack is justified unless you know what it is for?
Okay, we just got through a competition. The competition has something that you want, and if he's destroyed, then you have it again. He took it from you, and you have it. So with that in mind, she's moving us into the next idea.
Yeah, and so here is the final principle of chaos. Come to the rescue. It holds there is a substitute for love. This is the magic that will cure all of your pain, the missing factor in your madness that makes it sane. And all your relationships
Go. Just read the whole thing.
this is the reason why you must attack. Yeah. Here is what makes your vengeance justified. Behold, unveiled, the ego's secret gift, torn from your brother's body. Boy, she's getting dramatic here. Hidden there in malice and in hatred for the one to whom the gift belongs. He would deprive you of the secret ingredient that would give meaning to your life. The substitute for love, born of your enmity to your brother, must be salvation. It has no substitute, and there is only one. And all your relationships have but the one purpose of seizing it and making it your own. Woo, drama girl.
I want you to love me. You just have to love me. You have to be there. You have to be the thing I want. Right? That means you have to cure all my ills.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Right?
That's a big, heavy
No.
load.
It's a recipe for chaos. It's a recipe for not getting what you want. What's the fourth law of chaos?
Oh, I don't competition or something. I'm not
Fourth
sure.
law of chaos.
I'll have to go back to
Fifth
my
law. Yeah.
things.
Well, fifth law of chaos.
The fifth law of chaos.
Substitute for love. Substitute for love. So bring these up again.
Okay, so the
So
first...
so fifth law of chaos. So it's the magic that will cure all of your pain and suffering.
Right.
Like death, ending it, nothingness. Right. Love is located in others and must be extracted. Is the kind of what she's getting at. And there's because they're not giving it to me. Right. They have something that they're not giving it to me. It could be a talent, attention, whatever it is. I'm justified in my anger and my violence and my judgment because they should be giving it to me, and it's not fair that they're giving it to me.
That they're not giving it.
Yeah. So all relationships have the purpose of seizing this and wringing the joy out of everything for it. And that's not what this is for.
At all.
Wring the joy out of it all. And this is because salvation is actually true. That we actually are other people. And we get mad, actually, when this connection is severed. When we sever the connection, that's the pain we feel. Not that they're acting out, is that we're severing a connection. Which is imaginary. So the reminder here is we're not afraid of darkness. But we are afraid of our own light, of letting ourselves be known and seen and be vulnerable and make mistakes in front of other people and let people know our light, let people know us.
Yeah.
You have to be known. You really have to be known. And believe you me, it's a lot funner than our egos would like us to believe. We are not afraid of our darkness. We're only afraid of the light in the world. And this whole like laws of chaos thing is a lifestyle. It's a way of organizing our mind. This is life training. And the questions becomes, are we looking for love in all the wrong places? Yes, we are, right? So
Well, let's look at the right place.
I'm Reverend Glen Ganaway, your favorite anarchist preacher, and you're listening to Church with a 2-Drink Minimum, and this is the love of my life, the Reverend Yolanda.
Oh, thanks, y'all. Oh, God. That was funny. I love your little...
Okay. So
I love your little drawings. So we're going to move into my song about love. And this is not a substitute. This is love. And it's called Love Divine. And we're going to bring it up here. Here we go.
Although I speak with tongues of men and angels, and though I prophesy and understand the world, and though I have all faith to say to mountains you must go away, but have not love, and though I feed the poor and give of my life, if love has no place in me, then what am I? If I do not have charity, if love does not flow from me, then what is life? Love divine, love divine. Love is patient, love is kind, and love is wise. Love can never come from a jealous mind. It's never proud, but gentle, meek. Resistance is not what it seeks. It sets the mind at peace. And love's the one that sings when the truth prevails. Love believes in good when it looks like hell. And love's the one that bears the wrong. Love's the one that's always strong and never fails. And when I was a child, I acted as a child. And now I can heal myself from those times. The looking glass no longer dark, I see the light that's shining there within my heart. Love divine, love divine. Child, I acted as a child, and now I can heal myself from those times. The looking glass no longer dark, I see the light that's shining there within my heart. Love divine, love divine.
Okay, everybody! Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for Herein Lies the Peace of God.
It's going to be good.
Yes. Okay.
And